Hello everyone, this is Todd with Nytality again. So I'm sitting here all bundled up in blankets and sweaters and my cool Nytality beanie because a blizzard knocked my power out. And somewhat naturally, I suppose, I'm reflecting on life, and my life specifically. It leads me back to this question about what am I here for? What are we all here for? This question has been burning in my heart and mind as long as I can remember. Maybe it is that way for you too, my friend. I am, as of late, getting more and more memory back of my life. The infections I had really did a tremendous number on my memory and ability to think. Almost daily, I remember times in my life that were gone from me for a long time. It's a most fascinating experience to sort of relive times in your life in a full sensory way. I have to be careful how I say this, as people jump to the conclusion that I mean traumatic flashbacks when I say I am recovering memories. And for me, I did have painful traumatic memories, but they came back first, and that was years ago now. But these aren't so much what I think people refer to with that expression as a more literal recovery of memory after whatever problems were caused by the combination of long-term infections stacked on top by some new, more immediately dangerous infections. So most of these memories came back, as they come back, are really quite fun and interesting. But it brings up this point that your life is really told in the retelling of your life to yourself and others through your memories and the stories you tell to yourself and others about them. It's really interesting to see that now. It becomes more and more obvious how much we limit ourselves in these stories than we need to, and how much suffering we can cause ourselves with them. It can really get you thinking, who am I really? Because you aren't actually your memories or these stories. It certainly feels to me, and it most definitely my experience of me, that I am more than just a body or a mind. I am something transcendent of those things. A few years ago, when I lay in the same bed, still fighting lots of infections, and most importantly for the story, still fighting with the surgical infections on top of the chronic long-term ones. At the lowest point of my health, perhaps, I think I died a few times. I wasn't hooked up to any monitors, so I'm not trying to make any scientific claim here. I have no actual proof. But more than once, I felt myself go, have an experience, and then come back. I think 3 times to be somewhat more specific, although those experiences were so surreal they are hard to quantify. And those experiences changed me in a rather profound way, as you might imagine. It was so far beyond anything my mind had ever cooked up, and I have a fairly sharp imagination. But it was like going from 3 dimensions to 5 or 6, or maybe even 100. I don't know, my mind can't quite comprehend it all. And there was great consciousness there, and life. But I realized I wasn't done yet here, and back I came. These experiences were not unlike some of the experiences I've had with meditation and contemplation. Particularly the ones that I've come up with out of my own search, from my own inner quest going back to my childhood, and the relentless search going on within me. And now as I lay here, listening to the wind and snow blast against the sides of my log cabin, and I listen to my puppy snore soundly, and I consider my life and my experiences, I am again drawn back to something related to the essence of life. Something that is at the essence of us. That life is really happening inside you. Again and again, life has driven that point home to me. And make no doubt about it, I sought out the meaning of life and myself. I wanted to not only understand life, but make contact with it in a deep way and make conscious methods to work with it on a deep life-affirming level. And to be honest, I've done this now. And now I have thousands of methods to improve the life within one's life. Methods to improve one's experience of life. Methods to make better contact with one's own inner world, life, and guidance. And I have them in ways that I can show others that they can use to recreate the experiences that I have had through what have been quite profound and personally life-changing. Ones that I have found quite profound and personally life-changing. And that you can have these experiences and reflections on life without having to be sick most of your life. And without having to go through intense trauma. Without having to lose most of your memories. Without even having to leave your normal life or bedroom. I'm not talking about the Holy Grail or anything like that. But what if you could wildly change your experience of life to something better? What if you could cultivate the experience of ecstatic states and blissful living without drugs? What if you could improve your health? What if you could get to know and appreciate yourself? What if you could connect to life a little more directly and consciously? Those were all things I have been always chasing and that I have found in these methods and in this work. At least they work well for me, and I'd very much like to share them while I'm here. I have some, what I think are very unique perspectives to share for some interesting experiences in my life. And the more I try to hold these methods and stories back, the more off I feel, and so out they pour from me. And most particularly in these moments when I'm a bit strained, like when I have no heat and a blizzard, it sort of reminds me of what my heart and life have been guiding me towards, and how much I want to share with people in the off chance it might get to someone like me who desperately craves it. Or just to get some of it to anyone who can use any of it. That would be quite fulfilling for me, if that could happen. Maybe it's possible to make your life experience better for you through your own efforts without the need of anyone else, through the right methods and understanding. I can do this, and hopefully I can share a lot of the understanding and methods that have helped me. There was a time for me that life looked like a trap, a place where way more suffering happened than justified the life and pleasures within it. But that was because I missed my own inner world and my own ability to work with it. Our modern world seems almost designed to do that. Humans, quite frankly, make the majority of their suffering with their own inner world. There's, of course, pain, hardship, starvation, betrayal, and sickness in this life. But also pleasure, loyalty, cultivation, health, and the essence of life. And all of this is amenable to change in your inner world. All of this is responsive to change in your inner life. Your life isn't randomly happening. You're building it piece by piece, through thought by thought, through emotion by emotion, through action by action, but more than anything else, through consciousness and attention. So where are you putting your consciousness and attention? There is a point to being here as we are. It has an effect on you, to expand and evolve you. Try to enjoy the process and have some fun in the expansion of you that is part of the point of being here too. Life isn't meant to be a shit sandwich. But more on that in my second book. But for the here and now, really look for the light and warmth within you when it's dark and cold all around you. But then also really enjoy the light and warmth within you when life is warm and bright around you too. Work inside you all the time. That way you never really lose. Because so far as I can tell, and I had some experience with this, what you have inside you goes with you when you go. And the rest is just a place to have experiences to expand, have some fun, and to become more than you were. You can also touch life here in a really interesting way. Look for the connection inside you as well as watch it show up outside you in synchronicity and serendipity. Life is. And you are a part of it. And you are a creating piece of life, creating your own life through your own inner world. Don't forget to connect to life. Seek it out. And as for me now, hopefully my power comes back on. While there is a treasure in the darkest moments, before dawn, during a blizzard in the freezing cold, I wouldn't mind a little heat. And I'm actually being somewhat artistic and playing with imagery and themes to make a point and to illustrate how I feel in this situation. But don't worry, I actually have a lovely wood-burning stove and enough wood for a few days, so don't worry too much about me. And I have a bit of a treasure within me, and that is where the juice of life really is. Alright, enough pontificating and howling at the storm, both inside and out. Stay vital, my friends. And stay tuned, I have a lot more to share. We'll see you next time. This is Todd. Be kind to yourself.